If you are a Pokemon lover who particularly likes the battling and stats side of Pokemon, then I have a game for you. NeoDuel Backpack Monsters is an inventory auto battler, but instead of items in your pack, you'll fill it up with monsters. In this video, I'll be giving a full review of the game and ranking it from decaf to fully caffeinated. If you love indie games, you are in the right place. Make sure to subscribe for indie game reviews, news, recommendations, and more. Without further ado, let's grind this game down and see how it brews. NeoDuel is full to the brim of action, and it doesn't really have a story, so we're gonna dive straight into the gameplay for this one. I have to admit, I think this is actually the first auto battler game I've played, and for a first timer, I really enjoyed the game's fast-paced nature. NeoDuel is tournament-based and PvP, so each run sees you go into a new tournament with a completely fresh inventory, ready to fill up with monsters, which are called Cosmons. The tournaments each have a certain number of rounds, and you'll go up against a different opponent in each one, usually matched up with someone on the same level as you. Each round you'll have a certain number of cents to spend, and a randomly generated pool of Commazons and energies to spend your cents on. The shop has 5 different things in it, and you can re-roll it for a cent so you can regenerate what's in there. You can also right click to lock items, saving them from being re-rolled and keeping them from round to round. There's 4 main types of things you can buy: Cosmons that attack, Cosmons that have special abilities, energies, and inventory space. Now the Cosmons and energies are all sorted into different elemental categories, featuring a typical lineup of fire, water, nature, air, electricity, magic, and so on. There's tons of different Cosmons, and as you progress you'll have more rare Cosmons make appearances, with the rarer ones generally having better abilities, and each Cosmon has different stats. If a Cosmon is an offensive one, it'll have attack stats as well as an energy cost, recharge time, and special abilities you can unlock via linking. Certain Cosmon's attacks will also have certain buffs like burn or poison that reduce the opponent's attacks or may have positive effects on your own Cosmons. If a Cosmon is a defensive or special ability one, it'll have a recharge time as well as details of its special abilities, which can range from upping your shields to powering up linked Cosmons to providing healing. Generally, special abilities are triggered by being linked to certain elements, and these can be either Cosmons or energy balls themselves. Link all of your Cosmons strategically and you can make them pretty OP and give yourself an advantage when you go into battle. Certain Cosmons can be evolved by putting them next to certain energies or other Cosmons, allowing non-elemental ones to be transformed into elemental ones, and of course giving them an upgrade too, granting them extra abilities or better attacks. To evolve them, you do need to make sure the required item is right next to the Cosmon, and then go into a battle with the Cosmon evolving at its conclusion, which happens regardless of whether you win or lose. Generally speaking, the better the monster, the bigger it is, so you'll need to purchase inventory spots when they pop up in the shop section. Some of these inventory spots can also have special abilities, granting extra strength or abilities to specific types of Cosmons, making inventory arrangement even more complex. Linking your Cosmons up is the most effective way to boost your attack and defense, and there's literally thousands of different ways to approach how you manage your inventory. This is definitely a game packed with a ton of strategy, and your choices of Cosmons, elemental focus, and inventory placement all have a massive effect on your chances of winning. As you progress through the tournament, you'll also unlock some perks and are given the choice of 3 different randomly generated perks to choose from. These can range from earning extra cents in each round, to boosting your shields, to granting you extra poison points, and can be really useful for your run. There's no time limit on setting up your inventory, so you can spend as much time as you like perfecting your setup, and once you're ready, it's time to head to battle. This is an auto battler, so the battle side itself is pretty passive. You basically have to set yourself up as best as you can and then cross your fingers that it will be enough. You can hover over the different Cosmons to check out their attacks and abilities, so studying your opponent can be useful, but other than that, it's just a matter of waiting to see who will win. You get 5 lives in each run, so you can take a few losses and still come out on top, but you don't progress up a level until you win. Make it all the way to the end and win the final battle to take home a tournament trophy. If I had to use one word to describe this game, it would be addictive. The fast-paced nature of the game makes it feel like you can take risks, particularly early on in your run, and with nothing carrying through each tournament run, it really feels like everyone is on equal footing in each tournament. There's an in-depth guidebook accessible from the main menu that allows you to see stats for all of the different Cosmons and goes into details about what each buff, ability, or perk can do, And you can also change your character from the main menu, unlocking different characters the more you play. There is so much to learn about each of the Cosmons and so many different ways to approach a game. I definitely had a lot of fun trying out different elemental focuses and seeing what each different evolution is like. It's easy to go deep into the stats and the ideal inventory layouts, but the randomness of the shop generation functions as an equalizer. And it's just as easy to be successful without looking into the numbers. Well, at least not too closely. This is certainly a game that packs a punch and is a really great one to play for a short time or a long one. The gameplay loop draws you in, and there's enough detail to each Cosmon and layers with the different buffs and abilities that the game feels complex and interesting. This is a game that is executed well and it's just fun to play. So for gameplay, I'm rating NeoDuel Backpack Monsters as fully caffeinated. NeoDuel has a cool anime-esque design style that is packed with color. The Cosmons all have cute illustrations and the theming for the different elements is conveyed pretty well, really allowing you to see at a glance what each Cosmon is. The UI felt really well communicated in this one, giving you a ton of information with a quick mouse over, and as someone who likes to check stats repeatedly, I really appreciated this feature. The music is very suited to the battle arena style gameplay, but I couldn't really get behind the voiceover and his cheesy comments. That is purely personal preference though. Overall, NeoDuel is a game that has a really fun and upbeat vibe, which perfectly complements the gameplay and creates a fun game atmosphere. So for design, I'm rating NeoDuel Backpack Monsters as fully caffeinated. NeoDuel is one of those games that you can see is pretty clearly inspired by some more well-known games. There's definitely similarities to other elemental creature collector type games, and even the energies could be compared to games like Pokemon or Power. That being said, the game doesn't feel like a replica, as it establishes itself in a completely different genre with very different gameplay. I actually feel like it's more similar to Digimon than any of the other more well-known creature collectors, but it hits on the nostalgia of those older TV shows and games rather than feeling like it's ripping it off. As I mentioned before, I haven't really played a lot of these auto battler style games, so I'd love to know if you think it's similar to any other games in that genre, so drop a comment below with your thoughts. For me, this game feels familiar, but still unique. So for originality, I'm rating NeoDuel Backpack Monsters as bust. I honestly wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy this style of game, but I was pleasantly surprised by NeoDuel and just how fun the gameplay is. The colourful style combined with the fast gameplay is fun and perfect for beginners or experienced battlers alike, and I really love the monster theme with it hitting just the right note of familiar yet different. We've ground the beans, we've carefully weighed and pressed the grinds and brewed this game down. Now, it's time for a taste test. NeoDuel Backpack Monsters is bust. NeoDuel Backpack Monsters is available on Steam right now. You can find the link in the description below, and that's where we're going to wrap up this review video. If you're looking for more indie game recommendations, click here, and until next time, stay caffeinated.